So the parts are coming in. I'm going to feature the case and the power supply in this video from our project codenamed Doble. So this case is huge. I didn't realize it's going to be that big when I saw it on the internet, and I didn't really take a measurement of it, but I saw it and I'm like, okay, I want that case. But when it arrived, I'm like, wow, this is a big case. Now this is just a box. Maybe it's smaller inside the box, but I'm not sure yet because I haven't opened it yet. Let's do the case first and then we're going to do the power supply. How about that? So let's try to get this thing out the box and see what's inside. So yes, that is a big case. Much bigger than the case that I have now, but it will accommodate all the stuff that I'm going to put in this thing right here. The power supply, probably a few drives. I'm going to put the main drive in there on the motherboard, but I'll probably put some other miscellaneous drive in there, some SSD drives, just the regular kind. Now this case does come with 3 fans built in, but these fans are going to be removed from this location. They're going to be mounted up top, and the fan for the CPU is going to go in this location. The case does have 3 slots where I can install additional drives, which will be 3 SSD drive just for storage sake. Now normally on these cases they usually have slots that you can put in drives like your CD drive or any other drive that you want to install, but nobody's really using CD drives like they used to anymore, at least rarely. And you can buy an external CD drive if you really want to use one. So they're not building them that way anymore, you know, basically just getting away from that design, which makes it more room in there to do other things, like putting a liquid coolant and all this other fancy stuff that they put in case these days. Now right in this area is where I'm going to actually install the motherboard. Now in the back there's a fan that's built in, so this fan is going to ventilate the system, and it's a pretty good sized fan. So there's a lot of ventilation that's built into the system to keep it nice and cool. The 3 fans in front, like I said, is going to go up top, and this big one in the back is built in for that purpose of keeping the circulation going on. But remember that I'm going to put 3 more in the front. That's going to keep the CPU cool and also the system cool at the same time. Now in the back is the slot for the power supply. So the power supply is going to go right here in this section. One of these grills will be taken out to put where the video card is. It's probably going to take out 2 because I think that video card is pretty big and it uses 2 slots, but that will get installed after I install the motherboard. The fan on the back that I showed you a while ago, it has these slot area right here with these screws, so I can move the fan up and down if I wanted to, so it's adjustable. And it's the same thing with the fans that go on top on the inside. Now on the opposite side of this case, you got this panel right here, because the other side is where the glass panel goes and this side is just a regular panel. But it has a button on the back right here that if I press it, this part is going to just come right off. And once I take that side panel off, I will have access to all the cabling. And it's all have these little grooves that they go into, so it's a good little cable management system they got going on here where you don't have any wires dangling everywhere. I have access to some other areas where I can install some extra drive, which you know will be SSD drive if I wanted to do it. So at total I can put 5 extra drive in here, and say if I do a terabyte each, we're talking about 5 terabytes inside this case right here, plus the one that's going to be installed on the motherboard. But the motherboard has 2 slots, so if I do a terabyte each, we're talking about 7 terabytes by just going by 1 terabyte per drive. So the storage expansion is very abundant, and then all the other cables are going to run back in this area so they won't be cluttered all in this other side, just like my case that I'm using right now. So that's how they keep the cable management nice and neat, by putting it all on the other side of the panel. Now on top of this case, you have a power button and you have 4 USB ports. 2 of those ports look like they're 3.0. We got a mic jack and then we got a headphone jack. So that's all that's available on top of the case. On the front panel, of course, there's nothing there. It's just nice and smooth and no buttons, no ports, no door, no anything. So this case was designed to have that clean look all the way around, inside and out. Now let's take some measurement of this case. Now from front to back, we're looking at about 19.5 inches. From the ground up, with the feet, you're looking at about 20.5 inches, and I'm just rounding it off here. And from side to side, we're looking at about 9 inches. So it's a pretty good size case, but it's what I wanted to build my new system, and I really like the look of it because I've researched a lot of different cases online, and they, you know, all of them had different features. Some had the little glass panel in front, or should I say a clear panel in front where you can see lights of the fan spinning and everything. But I wanted something to be minimum looking, and this is the case that I wanted. Now this case does come in 2 flavors. You got the one with the LED lights built in where you can have a fancy light show going on, and then you got the plain case like this one right here. Now that's fine with me because I'm not too concerned about the LED light show, but this kind of case without the lights is fine for me right now. Okay, so this case comes with a glass panel. It's pure glass. That means it can be shattered if not handled with care. As a matter of fact, they put this caution thing right here to let you know that this is breakable glass. This is not plastic or anything like that. I'm the only one handling this case, so I don't have to worry about it breaking or anything like that because I sure enough will be handling it with care. As a matter of fact, I will be keeping the original styrofoam box in case I have to ship it to anywhere else. It's going to go right back in that box for protection because I really don't want to break this glass because I'm not even sure how much this thing is going to cost to be replaced. Okay, so that's going to be it for the case. So I'm going to move this to the side and let's talk about the power supply. Now the power supply is made by the same manufacturer. I'm pretty sure any other power supply would fit in this case. I didn't have to get one that's brand specific, but the only reason why I got this one because I like the features of it. It has 850 watts of power supply, just like any other power supply. And this one is a digital power supply. According to the manufacturer, it is quiet, smart, and reliable. There's an app that comes with it that you can use to monitor it. Now that app is only Windows based, so I can't really use it on my Hackintosh build that I have going on here. But you know, it has that feature built in. And with the software, you can play with the power supply as far as the fan and stuff like that. You can make it silent, you can put it in performance mode, or you can have a fixed presets. And the components that built this power supply is top notch. And the manufacturer is going to back it for 10 years. So it comes with a 10-year warranty. So between now and 2029. So if this power supply should ever burn out or anything else happen to it between now and then, the manufacturer is going to replace it within that 10-year period. So I will be going online and registering this product so it will be covered. Another good thing about this power supply is the fact that it's modular. Now what does that mean if you never heard that word? I'm about to show you what I'm talking about. So let's open it and see what's on the inside. Okay, so this power supply comes in a nice little pouch. I mean, they really put the quality as far as packaging in this thing. Normally you just get a power supply that's in a box, maybe a little plastic, but to put it in a special container like this and have it specially wrapped in styrofoam, that means they really put some care into it. Now this power supply doesn't have any wires dangling from it. Normally when you see a power supply, it has a whole bunch of wires coming out of it. And this is what I mean by modular, because all I have to do, and even the wires, wow, look at this. They put the wires in this special pouch, and this is a nice little pouch, zipper and everything. So you don't have to worry about trying to keep up with your wires. And hold on, let me take out the warranty here, because like I said, I got to fill out the warranty to make sure that I get it covered. Now let's get back to this pouch with all these wires in it. So there you go. These are all the wires that comes inside here. You can see, it's pretty neat. There's the one that plugs into the wall, but the quality in just packaging this power supply is pretty amazing that they even come in a special plastic pouch, and I mean with a zipper. I'm telling you, I've bought power supplies in the past and I've never seen one so neatly packaged before. So let's get this stuff out of here. Okay, so one thing I noticed about this power supply, it has some weight to it. So I can tell there's some good quality parts that's built into this thing. It's not lightweight. So the cables that come with this power supply are not attached. So that way you can use whatever you need and leave off what you don't need. That way you have limited cables and you don't have to worry about all that clutter. because most of the power supplies that you get from the store, they already have the cables attached to them. So the ones that you're not using are just left dangling from the power supply, and they just sit there and create clutter. But with the modular power supply now, all you have to do is plug in the ones that you need. So I can plug this one here into the slot and just use it only. And that goes for the rest of the cables too. So if I don't need these cables, they will stay in this bag over here and reduce the clutter inside the case. So if you're thinking about getting a power supply, look for one that's modular. They cost a little bit more, but then you end up with that need factor inside your case if that's what you're looking for. So go for the modular power supply. And when you don't need them anymore, you can just go ahead and disconnect them, put them back in the bag, and you have that neat looking power supply in a neat looking case. Now for this power supply, it fits right in the bottom of this case. So it will be out the way, out of sight, out of mind. You won't even see it. So most of the cases that I've bought in the past always had the power supply at the top or the bottom, but it's always in visual sight. With this case, the power supply will be out of the way. You won't even see it, and the neatness inside the case is going to look there that you're not going to see any wires dangling anywhere. And that was one of my goals when I was building the system. I want to have a neat looking case. So this power supply comes with 850 watts, which is plenty enough to power the motherboard, the CPU, the fans, and the additional drives that I plan on putting there in the future. Okay, so this is the power supply, and that's the case I plan to use for my project codenamed Doble. In the next video, I will introduce the internal parts. I don't have the CPU yet because it's on back order. So once I'm able to purchase that and get that in, that will probably be the last video I'll make in the introductory part of this video of showing you the parts that I receive. And then once I get all the parts in, then I'm going to do a build video, and then I'm going to do a video where I'm installing the software and get this thing up and running. So stay tuned to those upcoming videos. I'm going to put all these videos on one playlist that's relating to this project, so you can watch them back to back if you want to. Thanks for taking the time for watching this. I look forward to see you next time. Have a good one.